What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you some more Go Battle League battles here in the Kanto Cup, and in today's video I'm going to be featuring a team with Pidgeot in the lead. Now Pidgeot kind of has an interesting role in this Kanto meta. Obviously Alolan Marowak is everywhere, and Pidgeot is really one of the many good responses to Alolan Marowak, being that you're normal and flying, assuming that the Marowak is running Bone Club and Shadow Bone or Shadow Ball, you're going to double resist all of Alolan Marowak's charge moves. Obviously you need to look out for Fire Blast from an Alolan Marowak, but that's kind of an off-meta moveset a little bit. So Pidgeot has access to Gust as the fast move now. If you evolved any Pidgeots during the Flying Cup time period, you were able to get Gust as the fast move. I actually did not have any Pidgeys to evolve during the Flying Cup. It's kind of crazy. I honestly don't really see Pidgeys in the wild that frequently anymore. So this is going to sound kind of crazy, but I used an Elite Fast TM on my previously built Pidgeot to get Gust. I don't know if it was worth it. The benefits of Pidgeot, yes, it's a very good response to Alolan Marowak. You have that Brave Bird nuke to hit for neutral damage on a lot of things, but Pidgeot in general is fairly glassy. My Pidgeot in particular has horrible PvP IVs. It's like 15-6-5 or something. It's got 15 attack, so it really does not have a lot of bulk, and it's in general is fairly glassy. The team that I'm rolling with, kind of the idea with this team comp is Pidgeot's worst matchups are going to be against like the electric types or the ice types, and so I have Venusaur in the back as my hard counter to those Pokemon, and then Snorlax as a safe swap is very strong. I think Snorlax even moved up into the #1 spot on PvPoke for the Kanto Cup. Very strong. So let's kind of check out how some of these battles go. I'm not completely sold on Pidgeot. I hope that you all come to this channel for like open and honest feedback with this stuff. And for me personally, I think Pidgeot performed okay. Honestly, I felt like sometimes Snorlax and Venusaur were doing the heavy lifting in some of these matchups, but I know that there are other content creators that have published videos on Pidgeot, and it's worked well for them. I ran this for 2 sets, so we have 2 sets to work with today, and the battles went okay. Snorlax against Alolan Muck is actually not as bad as you would think, even though the licks are resisted because of Alolan Muck's dark typing. Snorlax gets to these body slams at about the same pace that Alolan Muck gets to a Dark Pulse, and Snorlax is very tanky, obviously. So this is a somewhat like neutral matchup if everyone is on even energy and even shields. My opponent has a Dugong in the back, so this is really where Venusaur is going to be able to shine a little bit. Unfortunately, the Dugong got 1 Ice Shard's worth of an energy advantage. So this makes it pretty tough for my Venusaur, because the Dugong is going to be able to get to the Icy Wind before... I'm actually barely able to get to this Frenzy Plant. Holy cow! That's very close. This is just enough to take out the Dugong, and then out comes the Alolan Muck. They have to throw a move, but I'm going to be able to get to this Frenzy Plant and then take out the Alolan Muck. Alolan Muck, super strong Pokemon in this meta for sure. Okay, Pidgeot into Snorlax. So the nice thing about Pidgeot's normal typing is you resist ghost type attacks. So like the lick damage from Snorlax is double resisted there. The body slams would obviously add up, but I'm able to get my Venusaur switch locked on this Wigglytuff, and this is really good for me. What you're going to see me do here is overfarm as much as possible. This is just in case my opponent wants to double shield. I will know that I will have another move ready for that, and if they let it go, I still have residual energy for whatever is going to come in. So it's a Hypno. Thank goodness I overfarmed on that Wigglytuff, because I'm going to be able to get some nice chip damage here with the Frenzy Plant. It burns the last shield. And now I'm going to get my Snorlax on to this Hypno. This is a pretty good matchup here. It's a little sketchier because it's a Shadow Hypno, so these confusions do more damage, but the lick damage is really nice. My opponent catches a Body Slam right there, so really nice play. I'm going to switch into my Pidgeot here. This should be a good time for Pidgeot to shine. However, the problem is that if I throw a Brave Bird here, I drop my defense, And then the Hypno is going to be able to farm me down and have more energy to thread my Snorlax. So this is a little scary here, because look how much these confusions are doing now. I'm not even able to get off another move. But if I overfarmed on the Snorlax, I was going to get hit by another Body Slam. So kind of a tough spot there. Luckily, I did save my shield for this Snorlax, but I kind of made the conclusion of this game a little bit closer than it should have been. Obviously, my opponent made a really nice catch on their Snorlax, but very good game there. This is against Tommy Love TV. I think he's also a content creator on Twitch, if I remember correctly. This is a terrible lead. Shadow Aerodactyl is running Rock Throw. I'm pretty happy that he's staying in this matchup because Snorlax is just such a good generalist. Even though Body Slam would be resisted there, it would still do some nice chip damage. I'm going to shield this. I just need this Aerodactyl to be low enough that when my Pidgeot does come back in, it can at least threaten it a little bit. So I'm assuming that my opponent here wants to farm me all the way down. But the lick damage is really going to add up, and these Body Slams, even though they're double resisted, are going to add up. Look how low this Alolan Marowak has gotten, and because our switch clocks were so out of sync, I'm just going to switch in my Pidgeot here. All of this energy that my opponent has farmed up completely goes to waste, so really good for me. It just totally walls all that energy. I know that the Aerodactyl is going to come back in, but it is very glassy, so I'm just going to try to hit a... I'm actually just going to go straight for the Brave Bird, because I want to be farmed less to give this Pokemon less energy. So I get farmed down, that's alright. I'm going to be able to bring in Venusaur on this. These Vine Whips are hitting for neutral damage because of the flying and the rock typing. And in the back is a Water Gun Lapras. I'm over farming here. I am worried that they might be running Ice Beam as a charge move. So I don't want to over farm too much, and I'm able to Vine Whip down that Aerodactyl. Able to come back from that pretty terrible lead. Good game. This is a terrible lead, folks. Double resisted. All my flying type attacks are double resisted on either the Alolan Graveler or Alolan Golem because of the rock and electric typing. My opponent brings in Venusaur. Because I have a slight energy advantage here, I know that I can win back switch, but I don't know how important that's going to be in the end game. Obviously, I want my Venusaur aligned with their Graveler, but the Stone Edge is still really going to hurt from the Graveler. I'm actually double shielding here to guarantee that I can win back switch. So I'm going to have to go into a shield deficit, but my Pidgeot gets to avoid the Graveler, so that's really good for me. And my opponent is rocking double electric. I'm sitting here trying to showcase Pidgeot, and I run into a double electric team. So this is, poor Pidgeot is just going to have to be a sacrifice here. There's like, oh, and then we get a nice lag spike there, and I tried to catch a move on Venusaur, but that did not happen. Unfortunately, Venusaur is going to get Stone Edged here. Yeah, double electric, especially in that order there, like in the lead and in the back. Pretty uncommon. I have seen some people running like double Volt Switch users where they're both in the back, and they'll use like Alolan Raichu as a safe swap or Alolan Golem as a safe swap, but unfortunately there's just no play for Pidgeot here. I could have Brave Birded, but then it would have dropped my defense for whatever's in the back, and I would have been totally screwed. Oh, against that Electrode, yeah, there was there's no play there at all. Okay, this next game, like, just totally lagged, and so we're just thrown into the heat of it right now. I have my Pidgeot on the Alolan Muck. I'm already down a shield. I'm going to let this Dark Pulse go through because my defense has not been dropped yet, so I knew that I could survive that. I switch into Snorlax here. Out comes Machamp. This is very bad. I'm getting the Spinning Wheel of Death in the top left corner. You'll have to see it. Cross Chop comes through, and it's just barely enough to take me out. That is not good at all. I have an Aerial Ace stored, so I'm going to switch into my Pidgeot and throw this Aerial Ace. Really hoping my opponent lets it go, but they don't. This is absolutely terrible for me. I'm going to bring in my Venusaur. Rock Slide is really going to hurt. Really going to hurt. So luckily I do shield up the Rock Slide, but Machamp wins CMP. I'm still getting a little bit of lag there. These battles were taken from some of my live stream yesterday. For some reason, I was just getting very, very bad lag spikes, regardless of whether I was on LTE or Wi-Fi. And it's a Rapidash in the back, so there was no win in that. Good game. Pidgeot into Mew. So I do double resist the Shadow Claws, but the Wild Charge is essentially going to nuke the crap out of my bird here. So I'm just staying in here. I'm trying to time my throwing of the Aerial Ace after the Mew has debuffed itself, and so I'm able to get that. I assume Pidgeot wins CMP here. Yeah, it does. But this is for sure double Wild Charge, so I will shield and then try to farm this down. But my opponent is very smart and switches into a Lowland Muck. I don't have a direct punish to this, and I know that Snorlax is still a good response to Mew. This is terrible. I absorb a Dark Pulse after dropping my defense. That was a very bad play there. I should have accepted that I was going to get hit by a Dark Pulse and thrown my move afterwards before switching into Snorlax. But assuming that the Mew is running Surf and Wild Charge, my Venusaur is still going to have some play against it, and my Venusaur gets to avoid this Alolan Muck here. I'm able to lick it down before it throws another move, so that's really good for me. It's a Lapras in the back, so I immediately swap. Over farming. I'm going to throw here. It would have been nice to have a little bit more residual energy, but Frenzy Plant takes it out. And the Mew gets to a move right there. I think Venusaur wins CMP though. And so Frenzy Plant is able to take it out, and I'm able to win that game there against that Mew lead. Pidgeot into Wigglytuff. These Wigglytuff leads are rough, man, because for some reason my opponent switches into Dugong. But now I have just given up my only charm answer. So there's a case to be made that maybe I should have swapped Snorlax in here, but I would not have won that matchup. This is really tough. My opponent actually has a very wild team comp. I even lag there again and miss out on a fast move. I don't really know if it matters, but it's just annoying to constantly be missing fast moves. Going to bring in the Snorlax at this point. But in my head, I'm thinking, okay, if someone uses Dugong as a safe swap, they most likely have another ice type in the back because they're trying to bait out my grass, which they did. And so in my head already, I'm like, I know there's a Lapras in the back. There's most likely a Lapras in the back. And so there's pretty much nothing I can do. I missed a lick there, and so I'm not able to lick this thing now before it gets to another Icy Wind. Really not good. Gonna throw this Body Slam. It does like nothing. I probably should have stored this energy and swapped before throwing, and my assumption was correct. It was double ice in the back, so I save us both some time there. Good game. Pidgeot into Muck. Obviously, if you can land the Brave Bird here, it's great. Gust is a 4-turn fast move, and Snarl is a 3-turn fast move. So for every 3 Gusts, your opponent gets 4 Snarls, which is the equivalent of a Dark Pulse. So you can kind of gauge how much energy your opponent has like that. I am down a shield here, and then my opponent safe swaps into a Alolan Marowak, and I throw the Brave Bird. I was so surprised that they shielded that. I thought for sure that they thought that they were going to catch an Aerial Ace, but somehow they knew that it was a Brave Bird, so smart shield on their part. My Snorlax is able to get aligned with this Alolan Marowak, which is good for me. Obviously, I am a little bit scared of the Fire Blast there, but these are just going to be Bone Clubs. Now, I don't think that I could fully commit to the lick down there because I would get hit by another Bone Club, and I do want to preserve some health here. But it's a Machamp in the back, so that actually wasn't that great preserving that. My Pidgeot does not have an Aerial Ace stored quite yet. I'm barely able to get to this Aerial Ace. I'm really hoping the Machamp doesn't shield. Of course it shields. It farms me down. I'm able to get my Venusaur on this. I have to shield with the Rock Slide, and I do. So I'm over farming here just a little bit. Down goes Machamp, and the Alolan Muck is in the back there. and I'm gonna get hit by this Dark Pulse, but then the Frenzy Plant is going to be just enough to take it out. And I'll be able to take that game there. Let's see, I think we got one more battle in this video here. Pidgeot into Marowak. Okay, this is the dream lead. This is the dream lead, but Snorlax also handles this. My team does not have a direct response to an Alolan Mach safe swap like this, so I'm just going to throw the Aerial Ace. I get a shield, and then I switch immediately. The unfortunate thing is that the lick damage plus Body Slam still isn't going to be enough to KO this. So I do have to commit a shield here to maintain switch. Gonna throw the Body Slam here, and it's barely not enough to KO, but I want minimal health to be... Oh, it is just enough. Okay. Oh, these Machamps in the back are really rough. Luckily, I do have stored energy, so I'm able to threaten that shield here, but the Machamp gets so much farm. So I have to bring out Venusaur onto this so it avoids the Alolan Marowak. But I think I make some pretty bad plays here. I have to shield up this Rock Slide. And I do. And then my opponent magically guesses when I'm going to throw Frenzy Plant, and they catch it. So really nice catch on their part. I'm getting my Pidgeot on this thing, and I really should have just thrown the Aerial Ace there. Because what I need to be able to do... I'm trying to put this in farm down range for my Venusaur, because I did not want to be farmed down by Machamp, but this was just a big failed attempt. It was too high in health, and I'm barely not able to do it, so I'm going to lose this game. Good game there. Let me know what you think of Pidgeot. I know other people have had success with it, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.